Hey everyone, this is Alexander Concepcion, owner of Taco Street Locating, and in this video, I'm going to take you through all of the apartment complexes and areas of East Austin. So if you're looking to move to East Austin, if you're looking to rent an apartment, then this video is for you. If you find this video useful, please reach out to me on my website, tacostreetlocating.com, so I could help you find your next apartment. This is a totally free service. I've been doing this for 5 years. I've helped over 400 people find apartments to rent. So my process is really streamlined. It's really good. So here's my guide on East Austin, and this is going to be my favorite guide to make because I live in East Austin. This is my favorite part of the city. So hopefully you're going to find this guide useful. And I'm going to take you through all of the apartments that are on the market, all of the different sub-neighborhoods of East Austin, at least the way I understand it. So by the end of this, you're basically going to download my brain of the neighborhood, and it's going to make your apartment search that much easier. So we're going to start here in the core of East Austin. So when people say they want to move to East Austin, usually that means they want to be kind of in this general area. So we'll talk a little bit about kind of the sub-regions of this core of East Austin. This area, like core East Austin is what I'll call it, East 6, is where most people are thinking about when they want to live in East Austin because it's just next to downtown here, which I have another guide on. And this is where you're going to have most of the bars and restaurants and food trucks and all the everything that East Austin's really known for. And this is also where the highest concentration of apartment complexes are located in the neighborhood. So this is where we're going to start. So here you have the Corazon apartments, which are pretty good. They have some issues, but it's really one of the premier buildings in the neighborhood, mostly because of its location. It's a few blocks away from downtown. There's a ton of stuff to do in this area. You could just see everything just pockmarked all over, from like restaurants and bars and food trucks and all the everything. Corazon is a little bit it's a good overall complex. Could be better. I think they just got taken over by Graystar, or some other, because before Roscoe was managing them, which isn't great. So they have new property management. Overall, there's another building right next door called the Residences at Saltillo. This is like a mega apartment complex that spans 4 buildings all the way here from Whole Foods, Target, and it's across 4 buildings. It's been my most popular complex in Austin ever since it opened up, largely because it has like 700 and something units, so there's just a lot to choose from. Again, you're going to want to be in this area for the location. It's probably the most convenient area to live when you're in Austin. This is one of the few areas you don't need a car in. You have like Whole Foods here. There's a Target. There's just a ton of everything residential wise you'd want to do. That's why this is probably my most popular zone, where most of my clients wind up moving to. One downside, you'll notice like the reviews have been kind of not so great here. They're worth reading into. The management seemed to be better when the building first opened up, and maybe it's declined. One problem people have in this area is that there can be a little bit of like homeless population. that like kind of wanders around here. It's not really a lot. Just sometimes you have like occasional few people stumbling around, and it's kind of annoying. But whatever. That's part of this area. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but then again, I don't live there, so I don't know exactly what it's like. I do spend a lot of time there just to hang out. You got this new complex, Talavera Lofts. I think it's an affordable housing complex, so they're kind of not the typical building that I work with. You have the Arnold here. Definitely one of the most popular buildings in East Austin. It's a really cool interior. It's definitely a middle center of the world type building. The reviews are pretty good. It's got good amenities. Its pool is interesting. It probably has the best apartment gym of any building in Austin. It's a really good gym. Some good co-working space. And it's flanked by a ton of bars and restaurants, for better for worse. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit more relaxed, this may not be the one. But if you want to be in the middle of all the action, this is going to be a really good one to look at. This one, Central, it's actually two apartment complexes that combined under one management team. On one side is the former Indy, right around here, which is these micro apartments. They're super small. They're usually kind of overpriced. Honestly, both of these tend to be kind of overpriced for what you're getting. You don't get much in terms of amenities. The gym and pool is really small. Prices tend to be high. Parking's expensive. Not a huge fan of it. But it could be pretty nice and worth looking into. Here you have Eastside Station. Yell at them and tell them to start paying apartment locators again. But I'll talk about them anyways. So it's right behind the Arnold. It's Eastside Station. It's not a very interesting building. It's stylistically kind of dead. Kind of just like a generic concrete block. You're not going to get much of anything interesting there. But it's a solid overall building. The floor plans are decent. Some of them are really good. The amenities are decent. There's nothing really wrong about the building. You're just not getting much in terms of style. But its location's really good. It's right along the train tracks. And just to talk about that, there's a train station that stops here at Plaza Saltillo. It's an electric train, so you're not going to get like the really loud freight train activity going on. And this Plaza Saltillo train station can take you all the way up north to the Domain, up to Cedar Park. So if you want to commute up there and live here, that does work. So getting a little further east, there is the 7 East Apartments, which is, it doesn't really win or lose in any category. It's kind of up the middle in terms of everything. It's got a decent pool, decent gym. It has a nice rooftop deck area, and it has a really big dog park. So maybe the dog park is the one category that it's going to win in this area. But other than that, it's kind of just a middle of the road, average, modern apartment complex. It's going to be worth looking at if you're in that category. Further east, you have E6. E6 is a really nice, a smaller community. It only has like 200 and something units compared to like the 300 and something that other places have. So this area, it's if you want to be a little further away from the core of East Austin. So all the core is going to be like over here, and this is just a few blocks away. So it's still going to be really walkable. There's still a ton to do in this area. It's just going to be slightly off center, which if that's what you're looking for, then great. This one's going to be a good option. So now we'll get a little bit deeper into East Austin, where it's a little less walkable and a little bit more residential. In these areas, you definitely want a car to get around town. So here you have the Guthrie, which is it's a really nice building. I wish they paid more commission, but whatever. So it's really nice. It's reviewed really well. It's kind of tucked into like a cozy, chill neighborhood. I actually do like this neighborhood a lot. Even though it's not as walkable, it's still kind of like homey and cozy and more residential. It does have more of a local feel to it. And also a side note, this is the gym I go to called Squatch. It's an awesome community gym. If you're just moving here to Austin, this is a great place to meet a bunch of people who are really into health and wellness and fitness. You'll see me there, probably pushing sleds every other day. Anyways, so here is another one, Lennox 7th. This one's deeper in East Austin. Again, along 7th Street, which is a pretty busy street, especially in this area because it takes people to the airport. So this is kind of like the drawback is on the 7th Street side, it is going to be a bit louder. But on the other side, it's going to be more residential and chill, more relaxed. But it's a relatively newer complex, has good amenities, nice pool. So it's going to be a little bit cheaper than other buildings usually. If it's not, then it's probably not going to be a great deal. It has great reviews, which is good. It's always a wild card with buildings. A little further down is Nexus East. These two are pretty much like twin properties. You're getting kind of the same deal at both. Here at Lennox 7th, you have an enclosed garage. Here at Nexus East, it's more open. That might be why they have a bit more review issues. But anytime a building is going to be like in the mid threes, then it's going to be worth checking out the reviews to see what specific issues they have. But the building's really nice in kind of that generic middle high luxury apartment complex kind of way. There is a brand new apartment complex being built right next to it. I don't know what its name is going to be, but probably if I do this video again next year, then it might be open by then. So going a little further north, we're getting into close to where I live. I'm kind of in this region over here. You've got another building that's being built. This is let me start again. So this is Trailhead. It's another generically nice, kind of modern, kind of cookie cutter-esque complex. The main reason you would want to be here is, as the name might suggest, Trailhead is in front of a big trail that starts here in this area and it goes really, really far, like 9 miles kind of over that way. And it's a really cool running and biking trail. And this kind of connects you to a cool residential neighborhood. We can get a little bit deeper over here. But again, its reviews might be worth looking into. They're building another trailhead, like Trailhead Phase 2 right next to the building. So that should probably open up within the year. Going to be worth knowing about. Further east into the neighborhood, you have these Think East apartments. I think these were or still are affordable housing, lower income units. So you could check those out. You'll probably get some pretty good pricing here. But definitely check out their views at this level. Further into the neighborhood, you have Broadstone, East End. as of this recording, July 2023. This is a brand new building. I actually like this area. It's very residential, but it's kind of cozy, and it has this uniquely charming East Austin energy that you're not really going to find anywhere else. The complex itself is just another high, medium end apartment complex. It's not going to wow you in any specific way, but it kind of just works as a perfectly generic comparable to everything else that is going to be of this variety. Further up, you have another place that's in the process of opening up called the Goodwin. It's not open as of this recording. I'm not sure why they already have reviews since it's not a real building yet, but whatever. People like to complain sometimes. So now let's get back to closer to the core. Kind of ventured a little bit east pretty fast. So I actually want to talk about one downtown apartment complex called the Alexian Waterloo. So technically this is a downtown building because it's on this side of I-35, but it kind of functions as an East Austin building because it's so close. So you have this cluster of buildings, the Waterloo, the Avenir here, the 11, Amla East Side. And you've got another one here opening called the Waller at Symphony Square. It's going to be another comparable to the Alexian Waterloo, another super nice high-rise. But this East 11th zone is my favorite part of Austin. I used to live here for 4 years. I love it. You have this really cool collection of bars and restaurants and food trucks. There's a vintage wine and bookstore. My favorite bar in the city is here, Nickel City. Right over here, Paperboy is great. Quickie Picky is great. This is my favorite part of Austin because it's kind of this perfect blend of like a cozy residential area that's very lively and active and just has its own unique charm. So if you're just moving to the city, definitely give this area more of a look than you might otherwise. I'll definitely try to sell you on it because I'm such a big fan of it. Anyways, these two big, mega high rises, more downtown style buildings, super sexy and tall and great amenities. The Waterloo has a big rooftop amenity deck with a pool, an amenity space for like co-working. They even have like a speakeasy up there. Great 360 views of Austin. Has some review issues it's worth knowing about. So read into those. And there's like the cool Waterloo Park here / amphitheater that's really awesome to walk around, check out some music. You got the Avenir, which is, I would say, my favorite building in Austin because it's got this great location. That's a hybrid downtown East Austin location. They've got 2 pools. I think they're both saltwater pools. They've got an indoor basketball court, a good pet spa, amenity center, some really nice floor plans. Some of the units face downtown, which can get some noise from the highway. And then they have some units facing east. And those east-facing views aren't as dramatic as the downtown ones, but you can get like a really nice, vast, and quiet, scenic view of East Austin that I really like a lot. Like these two, like Avenir and Waterloo, are going to be the most expensive ones I talk about in this video, but they are really nice. So if you have like a downtown budget but don't want to live in downtown, then definitely check these out. Here you have the 11. This is the place I used to live at for a while. I wish they paid commission like they used to, but they don't. So if you go to the building, just yell at them until they start paying me. But whatever. I'll talk about them anyways. It's a good overall building. They got a nice pool, a really nice sky lounge that overlooks downtown. They have a really nice pet park on the side of the building. Um, but yeah, other than that, they have good concrete and wood floors, so you're never going to deal with carpet in this building. Windsor, as a company, generally has is a generally good property management company. Right next to it, you have the Amley East Side, which is neighbor to the 11. The Amley East Side, it's going to be the oldest of the modern apartment complexes that I talk about in this video. So this place, it's got like this cool kind of like red brick style to it that feels a little bit older, and it's usually one of the best values to be in East Austin. So even though it's not as nice or modern as a lot of other options, it still has all the amenities. It's got the pool, the gym, and it's like super walkable, like everything else here is. So yeah, this one's gonna have some really good price points for the value. Speaking of prices, since I forgot to mention that earlier in the video, your one bedrooms and studios are going to be starting in the upper thousands, low 2000s. And then the two bedrooms are going to be closer to the mid 2000s to mid 3000s, depending on which building you're at. So that's that. Let's get deeper into the neighborhood. So we'll get into here, like this Chestnut Manor area, where you have, nope, go away, pop up. This cluster of apartments over here, along Manor and MLK. So starting here, you have Elon East. Pretty much all these are going to be good comparables for each other, since they're all relatively new. They're going to be your standard modern mid-rises with pools, gyms, some decent walkability. Yes, you have a lot of stuff to do in this Manor MLK area. Some cool, pretty homey areas that I like a lot. And this is it's more of a residential neighborhood than a center of the universe neighborhood. And you're still only like 5-10 minutes from downtown. So if you're like going to be commuting to campus or downtown and want to spend a little bit less money and you don't mind having to drive a little bit, then here's a great area to be in. So Elon East is the first one. Next is the Starlight, which is a brand new building that's just opening up as I record this video. I haven't been to this property yet, so I don't have much to say on it. But it is going to be the newest of this bunch, so it should be worth checking out. Then you have the MLK Highline. It's the only building on this list that really doesn't have amenities. They don't have a gym. They don't have a pool. So that's going to be the main drawback of it. But other than that, the floor plans are nice. Some of them have really big balconies and patios to choose from. It's just a generically higher end building, but again, you're not going to get the amenities that other buildings do. Platform probably has the most amenities out of all the buildings here. They've got like a big, like multiple pools, multiple buildings, the gym, and like all that stuff. The downside is you can see here the reviews aren't so good, probably because you have just a lot more units here, because platform is split between a lot of buildings, and there's just a lot more residents here, and it's probably a little bit harder to manage everyone at once. Then you have another community here called the Rail. This is the smallest community in this area, where they have like a lot of micro units. I didn't think I was gonna like this place, but I kind of do like it a lot. The prices are really good, even though the floor plans are small and the building is small. They do a good job at packing it with amenities like a small pool, nice gym. It's got really good walkability for this little area over here. And the other main benefit of this area is the train station that's here is one of the main stops that takes you all the way up north to the Domain or Cedar Park or to downtown. So this is a really good way to be one of the few people that lives in Austin and actually uses public transportation. That's why this area could be worth looking at. So now we'll go deeper east. And here's a building that it is opening up in fall. So it's not open yet, even though the reviews might suggest it is. But yeah, the building isn't open yet, so I haven't seen it. I don't have any much of opinions on it. But this area is going to get you pretty close to Mueller. And there's a lot of like really cool local stuff along Manor Road, like Oddwood Brewing, or there's this place called KG Barbecue that's pretty epic. It's got the Skylark Lounge, which is a really cool music venue. Batch Craft Beer and Kolaches has really good beer. A cider company. So this is kind of a low-key cool area, even though it's a little bit more commercial. You'll get a lot of cool stuff there. Here's Mueller. So Mueller is kind of its own neighborhood. So I actually have another video where I talk just about Mueller in another video. So I'm gonna skip Mueller in this video. My little polygon thing got a little shifted. Maybe I could. Here we go. Okay. Sorry, any OCD viewers. That's been fixed. So now we'll get kind of deeper into East Austin, these areas outside of Mueller that are going to be more residential. You're going to be in that 15 to 20-ish minute drive to downtown. If you don't mind the commute, then you can get some buildings that are going to be much better priced than a lot of other parts in East Austin. Up here, you've got the High Grove. It's just another one of these generic apartment complexes. It's nice. It's got all the amenities. In terms of logistics, it's going to be the closest to the highway. So this one is going to make it much easier to get to downtown than a lot of these other options will. So know about that one. Here is the Reserve at Springdale. I think this is one of those former affordable housing complexes or lower income ones, but the reviews aren't good, which is never a good sign. The prices will probably be good, but I don't know about anything else. Here's a new one that just opened not that long ago. Let me zoom in. Now it's called the Banks of Springdale, which is kind of a dumb name because if you Google banks on Springdale, you're going to get banks and not apartment complexes. But whatever. Maybe they just didn't think about that. Anyways, this building, it's nice in the same kind of generic way they all are. The reason this one is interesting is it's right along the Walnut Creek Greenbelt, which is a really big hiking trail in this part of East Austin. So you're going to get much better nature access over here. That should be pretty cool. Here's kind of a curveball building, Lenox Park. This is the kind of building where I don't really like its location because it's so close to the major highway here, and you're going to have to use this highway a lot to get out of this area because it's just so kind of tucked off in the corner. But it's just another one of these generically modern buildings. Let's get further, a little further south. I haven't even been to this place yet. The Citizen House MLK is kind of tucked along this main intersection of MLK and 183. There's not going to be a ton to do in this area, but the prices are going to be really good in comparison. And getting downtown is going to be fairly easy because it's a straight shot along MLK to get anywhere. Sorry. So logistically, it's going to be much better than Lenox Park over here. Further south, you've got Fort Branch, another notably older complex, at least in comparison to the others here. It's not got good reviews at all. I've had people go here and be like, no, I'm not going to go here. So yeah, I can't be a big proponent of that building, but maybe your budget makes it compelling. I think this one wraps us up here. The Laurel. It's actually a really nice complex that just happens to have a crappy location because it's right along the highway. So if you want to get in East Austin, kind of anywhere, you gotta hop on like a major highway to get anywhere, and that's never fun. But the prices are going to be better than the rest of East Austin, and you do have like good amenity and an on-site coffee shop and all that stuff. So it still could be worth taking a look at. So I think that just wraps up the East Austin. Actually, nope, forgot one. So down here is one called the Weaver. The Weaver is a really interesting one because it's along the river here. You could walk outside and get immediate trail access, which is really cool. I know they've had review issues, so it's going to be worth reading on those. But yeah, the building's nice. The amenities are good. And yeah, its location will give you some pretty good access. So I think that wraps everything up. Hopefully you found this guide useful. If you did and you're still looking for an apartment, reach out to me at tacostreetlocating.com where I can help you find your next apartment. See ya.